there was an event called Dragon Con. Have you followed this this before, Ludwig?
A little
um,
bit. You rock and roll with it. I've only cursory, only
are you
cursory.
are you familiar with Dragon Con?
I've never been,
Okay,
never been. Heard of it, but never been.
Dragon Con took place in Atlanta, Georgia. It is the largest multi-genre and pop culture convention. This is huge. It's a very big convention out in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, there's a ton of vendors out there that are looking to sell their stuff, all sorts of things. And this was the big controversy over the weekend. As I'm just going to share this post with you. AI grifters scammed their way into Dragon Con. The staff had them escorted out. Lamau, you love to see it. So this guy went out, set up a booth, and was selling AI art. And people were really pissed off about this. So he got escorted out for selling the AI art here at this event. Kay, you look confused by what's happening right here.
We're taking people out by police because they're selling AI art now? What?
Yep. And here's what I couldn't figure out what the story was. Is he scammed his way into the event with AI art? It sounds to me like he just AI generated some art, printed it up, and said, "Hey, I want to sell this art." And they're like, "All right." But then they realized it was AI art and got super torqued off. Like I'm not a fan of AI art, but what? Like he didn't really scam his way in. He just was gonna sell some art. I don't know.
All you have to do is not just don't buy the art. He can leave with $0 in his pocket. Done. You wasted his entire day. There you go. You stuck it to him.
Right. Already. He's out money. It's great. I don't see the problem.
Okay, so there's a lot here. Now, and people are like dancing all over this here. AI artists getting kicked out of Dragon Con with a police escort. The world is here healing, blah, blah, blah. I want to thank Dragon Con staff for handling this awkward situation well. Just in case anyone's feeling sorry for them, this person says, "Sorry I wasn't able to share the true story. I'd share a screenshot of my sales this weekend, but don't have to show it to give any explanation to you losers." Obviously, he's pretty pissed, right?
Wow.
About it. And then they started putting, vendor removed for selling AI. This originally said art, and someone covered up says images. Just say no to AI slop. All my homies hate AI. El Bozo, Rip Bozo. So, they're really dancing all over this. And a lot of the vendors are doing that too. But I think this really needs to be talked about here because Neon brings up a really good point. Neon from Clownfish TV. If you don't know, Neon worked for Disney for a long time. He did animation for that company. He is an extremely talented artist here who, when you think of look, we have people on the show who are, true artists, when it comes to, their work online. George is a huge advocate for he hates AI, right? There's all sorts of questions here when it comes to, okay, you could technically say Photoshop it's a computer program. You're not creating art with a pen and paper, right? Where does the AI? If you were to copy this and bring it over, isn't that technically using coding to bring things over? But back to what Neon was saying, he said they call the cops on a guy selling AI art at Dragon Con. Meanwhile, 99% of Artist Alley is technically stolen corporate IP. And walls of prints lifted from the internet. Maybe it has to be artisanal theft, right? And he says, I'm just saying, you can't really take the moral high ground in your business if your business is selling unauthorized prints of characters you do not own.
Right.
It is a very valid point here. Anyways, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Kay, you look like you're in deep thought over here trying to figure out.
I'm just perplexed with this. I mean, look, I hate AI art, and I think it's gonna, be very destructive, AI in general, to the overall future of humanity. But cops taking a guy out for the AI art, like I said, just starve the artist if you need to, if you're really against it. Like, the bigger fuck you is just making him sit there for 8 hours, 10 hours after he put in all of this work to set up his booth and all this shit. right? And then just be like, oh, no one wants your shit. Fuck you. That's it. That's all you have to do. And yeah, it's a great point to
Capitalism,
say
baby.
a lot of these people are just, ultimately selling art of characters that they're tied to a different property, right? So yeah, it's just a very strange situation. I hate this guy for trying to sell AI art, but at the same time, it's dumb to take him away like that.
I guarantee you, 100% guaranteed that the people who did the most complaining, who managed to get him out, have a particular political leaning. 100% guarantee. And I think that's worth noting, because again, most people who don't have that particular will not be said political leaning would just have your response to it. They just go, well, okay, I'm not buying what he's selling. Maybe I'll even make fun of him because that's funny. Maybe I'll put a sign in
Yeah,
my own
mog
booth
on him a
making fun
bit.
of him. Dog
like,
on him. Sure. But the people with a particular political leaning can't let the free market decide. They must enforce their own views on things by force. So get police, get people to raid them, get security to force them out, because the things they don't like cannot be allowed ever. They can't be allowed to exist. They can't simply not like it, not support it. They have to stop it and expel them from the world. Guaranteed. They have a particular political leaning, 100% of them, guaranteed.
Well, I'll say this. Go ahead, Phoenix.
I was going to say, I'm actually going to be the opposite conversation on this end. I'm looking it up, and there is apparently a strong policy against AI. So kind of put it this way, if you're going to an event where you believe that you're getting, let's say you're really against AI and you really want, art from the artist's hand, and you believe you're buying something that came from an artist and you're getting AI, that is, I can sort of understand. I don't think that the cops need to be involved. And I think that maybe there needs to be a policy that says, if you should label that this was used by AI, there was a portion of it made by AI. But I can kind of see the issue.
That's on the convention then to screen that ahead of time.
I have a question.
Bye, Craig.
No, I have one more question before I go. Where does AI start and where does AI end? Like, once again, when you say AI, does that mean I'm copying? I'm saying I want a picture of Phoenix with a giraffe riding over a fire pit, right? And you give it a prompt, or is this, technically, everything we're using is some sort of AI. Like, if you want to get super technical about it, whether it's a computer program or whatever, unless you are out there with a fucking pencil and a pad drawing it and using paint, it's all AI. There's some sort of AI generation happening. You are leveraging some sort of tool to create your craft.
Right. That is true.
Well, AI is a different conscience, right?
No. Craig's right on this one a little bit. I gotta stand up for
Fair
my
enough.
man. So let's say you're an artist and you're using tools like Photoshop and the whatnot with a real sweet Wacom tablet setup, and you're creating some just sweet dragon art. If you're using things like pattern fills for the dragon scales or gradient fills for the skies, you are using, or just a filter, you are using some type of algorithmic generation of your image, which is realistically, in a real practical purpose, is no different than the AI generation. The problem that people have is that the AI generation takes it to the extreme. It just basically says we'll do all of it, not just a portion of it. So Craig is correct. In good odds, a significant portion of the art that you're going to find at most conferences includes some level of programmatically generated art within all of the images that are out there. In fact, most comic books that you see nowadays are digitally lettered and often digitally colored, including color fill gradients, pre-designed fonts, and the like. That's all software defined imagery. No one sat down with all those and did everything beginning to end with some charcoal pencils. And so when you go to a Dragon Con, they're going to say, okay, AI imagery is out. I don't like AI. I'm a big advocate of AI, or opponent of AI. I don't like it. But realistically, you probably have to kick out 80% of the artists that are vending stuff at Dragon Con if you actually were being honest about enforcing it.
Phoenix, what were you
Sorry, I
saying?
didn't mean to trample you.
No.
Yeah, I disagree with that entire statement. But so like it depends. Look, a tool is a tool, right? Obviously, with advancements, you're going to get tools. But the idea is that the art came from an artist's mind. So yes, like for instance, if you're doing 3D modeling and you're going to texture something, the computer is doing a degree of that. But you have control over that, and you're making decisions based on that. AI essentially is you just requesting another artist, in this case a computer, to do something for you, and then you go, yes, I like that, or no, I don't like that. There's a big difference. It's not coming from the perspective of the eye of the artist. It's coming from something else. You're just hiring something to make something for you.
You know, well, hold on.
No, I see that.
Round one, go.
Well, no, this is okay. Repeat what you just said really quick. You said you're hiring something to make something for yourself, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Right. So you're subcontracting something
In a sense,
and you're saying that this is a product that the quote unquote artist didn't have a whole lot to say. No, they gave it a prompt, just like you would give yourself a prompt. I want to draw a unicorn jumping over a rainbow, right? In your mind, you're giving yourself that prompt, but you're giving that prompt to some sort of imagery that's going to expedite that process faster, in an exponential time. It's still that person's prompt that they would give themselves. They're just giving it, they're subcontracting it out, right? Just as if I was using Photoshop and said, you know, hey,
but you wouldn't call yourself an artist. You would say you hired an artist.
Well, did this guy say he was an artist? He was just selling it. You know, that's like going to the store.
Artist.
That's like going to the store, and you know, I don't think that the people at the store call themselves banana farmers, but they sell bananas. You know, I
call myself a banana farmer constantly, and I've never done it, and that's only what I call myself.
Nonstop banana farming. But I mean, man, it's a
banana farming right now.
This goes into the AI conversation. Like there's so much gray. And so many people want to get on their mighty high horse about AI, and I'm an artist. And it's like, yeah, but do you use filters? Yeah, but do you do this? Yeah, but it is. And yeah. Well, it's a tool. It's a tool I use to help me complete my art. And the people who are advocates for AI art, they'll say, well, yeah, it's a tool I use to make my art. It's they use the exact same argument. It's just, where does one start and where does one end? You know, and I think that's the most fascinating thing about this. But I think we can all agree, as I close out the story, that the cops should not have been called in a situation like this. Like, I don't care if the guy was like just saying, you guys are fucking idiots. You know, like if he was over there telling people how stupid their art was and hey, AI art for the win. You guys said it right. I think we can all agree. Just don't buy the shit. Just don't buy it.
Make fun of them. It's great. Making fun of people is rad.
All right.
I think it's a great protest too. I mean, if he's even trying to make a point, I totally support that.
Yeah. Actually, I agree with Phoenix on that one. If he was showing up and he's like, you know what, I'm going to make a point about AI art, how maybe it's indistinguishable for some of the other art, or maybe there's too much AI art at the show already. Honestly, it could be a great fake art protest thing. I like
100%.
Do you have common sense? You do? Oh, good. Well, you should probably watch this video here then.